Hi, welcome to your daily practice. Today we're starting on the mat. We're going to do a short stretch and flow. So coming down, we're going to start with some hip bridges. Bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Relax your spine into the mat. Start to find the breath. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms back. Keeping the shoulder blades flush into the mat. Exhale, sweep the arms forward. So just finding the freedom in the shoulders, allowing the arms to move without affecting the chest, the ribs, or the spine. Inhale, try to lengthen through the waist. And exhale, we're going to start to round up into our bridge, squeezing our glutes, driving our heels down. Nice and controlled as we do this, really articulating through the spine here. Peeling bone by bone up, coming off the mat, arms pressed down. And then slowly lower, pressing the upper back, ribs, waist, and hips. And just kind of finding that rhythm. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, coordinate everything to get to the top together. And holding up this time. Arms stay down. We'll just lower and lift. Still keeping the articulation through the spine. Every time, we really want to focus on the low back, pressing into the mat and peeling up off the mat. Activating those hamstrings. Holding the hips up, we're going to go for a little walk. Walking out and walking in. Out, out, in. So the challenge here is to keep those hips up. In, take it out, in. Soft on your feet. Last one, holding in, and just start to take it into those hip pulses, squeezing the glutes, all the weight into your heels. Let the shoulders relax down. Maybe even try to inch those shoulders further away from your ears. And then we're going to lead out with the other foot. Out, out, in. Again, keeping the hips squeezing up, reaching towards the sky. Chest is relaxed, neck is long. And we want the chest to stay down away from the chin, right? So we're really comfortable in the upper spine. Out, out, in. Out, in. Holding here, we're going to take it onto our toes. So lifting the heels, drawing back down, keep the hips squeezing. Right, as you press the heels down, I want you to think you're pressing the hips up even more. So finding that oppositional work. Heels stay high, taking it into our clamshell. Squeezing right through the outer seat, opening and closing the knees. Breathing into it. Slow and controlled movements here. Out and in. Slowly lower down, vertebrae by vertebrae. Hug those knees into your chest. Give yourself a rock side to side. Let the low back really imprint into the mat here. And then we're gonna take the right leg out long and just start to pull it in towards the chest. So extending out, exhale, hug the knee in. Arms are down by our sides, our spine is relaxed. Inhale out, exhale, pull in. So finding that movement through the leg without affecting the hip or the spine, we'll take it into a big kick. Exhale, kicking the leg up, lower down. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Spine stays on the mat. Really think about the tip of your tail. Keep it reaching down. And then we'll just hover that right leg off the mat. And as you pull the knee in towards the chest, we take it back into our hip bridge. Inhale, lower, exhale, hug the knee in, lift the hips. In and down. In and down. And now we're going to keep the hips and add the straight leg. Lifting the hips, kick the leg towards the sky, and lower everything back down. Up and lower with control. Kick and lower. Up and down. Keep the shoulders pressing in towards the mat, really wide through the upper back. Up. Holding with that lift. Give me a few pulses to finish this side. Squeezing, up. And then cross that ankle over, lower your hips down, hug your knees into your chest. Breathe into the stretch, maybe a little rock side to side. Gently press back on the knee if that feels good. And then as you exhale, lower down. Let's switch sides. So we'll hug the left knee in towards the chest, and we're just going to start with that extension. Chest stays down, arms are down. Exhale, pull the knee in. Inhale, lengthen long. In and out. In and out. Isolating the movement to the leg. The pelvis stays flat, really anchored in towards the mat. Let's go for our kick. Exhale up, inhale down. Keeping that right leg really stable and strong into the mat. Kicking towards your face. Use that exhale. And now we're going to add our bridge back in. So we start lifting the hips, hug the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen, tap the mat. Inhale, exhale, lift. Inhale, lower, exhale, lift. Good, driving the right heel down into the mat. Engage through that right hamstring. And let's add a kick. We're going to take the legs straight up, lift the hips, lower back down. Up and lower. Up and lower. Keep the backs of the shoulders pressing into the mat. Neck long. Exhale. Inhale. And last one, hold it up. Find those pulses. Squeeze, squeeze. Reach for the sky. Get that leg as long as you can. Lift the hips a little bit higher. And then we release into our figure four. Hips down. Hug your knees into your chest. Good job. Breathe it out. Let the hips be really heavy here. Almost imagining them melting, sinking down through the mat. Maybe take a little rock side to side here. And then uncross the legs, hugging both knees into your chest. Extend your right leg up towards the sky, lengthen your left leg long on the mat. We'll take it into a hamstring stretch. So let's just start with our ankle circles. Grabbing onto the leg wherever you can. If you need a little assistance, you can always use a strap or belt placed around the bottom of your foot, and that'll give you a little bit more leverage, especially if you feel that you're having to reach and round the shoulders or manipulate the spine in some way. We want the spine to be relaxed onto the mat. Then take a nice big bend through the right leg and exhale, press it long. Pulling the knee down towards the armpit. Exhale, lengthen through the back of the knee. And just hold here. Try and drop your right hip down. And we're gently going to cross right toes over towards our left shoulder. So it's a slight cross. We want to keep the right butt cheek, hip down into the mat. Try to find as long of a leg as you can. And then on your next exhale, go ahead and release that leg all the way over. So now we take it into a spine twist, hip stack. And once the legs are settled down in towards the mat and towards the floor, take your gaze in the opposite direction. Working that right shoulder back into the mat. And you can soften the legs here, allow them to bend. Just find as much relaxation in the body as you can. And send the breath to wherever you feel any discomfort. Allowing that discomfort to dissipate. And then when you're ready, draw your knees back into center and kind of recenter the hips. We'll take the right leg out long, left leg up towards the sky, grabbing on wherever you can, either behind the thigh or behind the calf, and start to circle the ankle. Both directions. And then bend that knee down towards the armpit. Exhale, lengthen the leg long. Big breath, pull the knee down, working through that hip crease. Exhale, lengthen. You're going to try to make every inhale and exhale a little bit longer than the last. We'll hold this stretch. And then crossing over the body. Think left toes towards your right shoulder. Keep the hip down for now. Keep lengthening through the back of the knee. And then on your next exhale, allow that leg to drift all the way over towards the side, stacking the hips, and take your gaze in the opposite direction. And just holding for your side twist. If it feels more comfortable to you, you can let the legs bend, softly releasing any tension in the hips and the knees. And then let's gently draw our knees into our chest, neutralize your pelvis back into center. And we're going to go for a roll over here. So arms down by our sides, lengthen your legs out long at a slight angle. Engaging those low abs, lift the legs up and over. And you can always use the hands here to assist the hips. Reaching the legs back behind you, and then gradually allow them to come down towards the floor. If you can touch, maybe flexing your feet, reaching the toes for the floor behind you. Arms are anchored strong into the mat to help stabilize the body. Keep the hips reaching up tall and just really breathe into the spine here. Allow the spine to fold and bend. And when you've had enough, slowly start to round out. Again, you can guide the hips with the hands. Bone by bone comes down onto the mat. Grabbing onto the backs of the thighs, start to create a little rock in that spine. Up and down towards the tail, keeping the abdominals scooped. Be mindful to stay off the neck here. Inhale, lengthen up tall into your seated position. Exhale, release over, reaching towards the feet. And just try to find a full relaxation pose here. On your inhale, I want you to arch the spine and pull the toes back. So maybe even bend the knees if you have to, but really grab for the feet. And then exhale, let everything go. Inhale, arching up, toes pull back, chest pulls forward. Exhale, let it go. Releasing the head, neck, and shoulders. Slowly round up, stack your spine. Bringing the legs in, we're going to come up into our Yogi Squat. So feet about mat distance, and just let the hips be really low here. You can use your hands to help find your balance, or if you feel good, bring your hands into prayer and gently press your triceps up against the insides of your knees. Extend the hips towards the sky and let the hands come down, let the head shake out. We're going to take the left leg forward, right leg back, moving into pyramid pose. So keeping both legs as straight as you can. Hands towards the floor. Think about just laying your upper body right over that front leg. An option to flex the front foot, maybe even bend the back knee slightly. Transitioning into our lizard lunge, we're going to drop that right leg back a little further. Walk the left leg out towards the side. Both hands are in the middle of the mat. Open up the chest, and then as you exhale, lift the hips. Use those abdominals to pull back into your pyramid pose. Inhale, drop low into your lizard open lunge. Exhale, engage the abs. Think nose towards your shin. Inhale up, opening up the chest, the collarbone. Exhale, release forward. Last time, inhale, arch up. And exhale, back, both feet flat on the mat. Pivot into your center here, so we're in that wide stance, forward fold. Grab onto the backs of your ankles, gently pull yourself in. Maybe give your head a little shake, yes or no, whatever feels good. All right, so many variations to take. This is your time. Take whatever variation feels good. If you want to move into a shoulder stretch, clasping your hands behind your back, go for it. Releasing your hands. Let's pivot to the other side, find our pyramid pose. Now with our right leg forward. Inhale, shift back, find your lizard lunge. So hands are in the center of the mat. Exhale, pull up and back, let the head be heavy. Really deep breaths as you extend the body in both directions. Reach through the heel, reach through the heart. Exhale, hips lift, head drops. Inhale for 2. Exhale and lift. Good. Last round. Inhale up. Exhale, let it go. Holding center, maybe back knee bends, front foot flexes. Think about pulling your right hip back, your left hip forward, squaring those hips. And then we'll gently pull it back into center, finding that forward fold. Last few moments here, we're going to shift side to side, finding our side lunge. So coming into whatever position works for you here. Maybe your hands have to stay on the floor. Maybe your heel has to come up. But just feel that stretch in the inner thigh and the groin and really breathe into it. When you're ready, walk yourself over to the other side. We want to work on getting the hips as low as we can. And then maybe lifting the chest up like Molly's doing behind me. You can wrap your hands, creating a bind. Or hands can stay on the floor in front of you. And coming back into center, both knees bend. Pressing up onto those thighs. Just give yourself a little rock side to side. Stretching out the inner thighs. And pause in center. Exhale, twist, looking over one shoulder. Inhale through center and exhale other side. Good. Taking any last few movements you need here. We're going to release the body. Final forward fold. Staying down slowly, bone by bone, stacking, standing tall. Find that tall, proud posture. Roll the shoulders up and back, and you are done. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that slow flow stretch. See you next time. Namaste.